We'll now move over to the Q&A session. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm just going to get Sarah to share her screen.
Thanks, Susanna. That was really good. So we haven't had any questions or comments come through, but I'll give it a couple of minutes. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or on the Q&A. Otherwise, what we'll do, we might just the subpages feature is actually, I've got one coming through. Subpage feature is actually really exciting. It's going to help people really structure their home pages and all that information really well. So if there's no questions, well, I see there's a couple coming through. I'm going to quickly show you a mock-up side of the sorts of things you can do with that. So we've got some questions. So okay, I'll just share my screen and I'll get into these questions. Okay, so we've got a question from Joe. If we have a book out on loan to another library, it shows up in the current orders. Is there any way to hide these? So an interlibrary loan, Joe. Good question. That's probably needs a few little tweaks. What we'll do, I'll make a note of that one, and we'll get the support team to help you out with that. But yeah, that's a particular feature of the interlibrary loans that does it that way. We'll get you through some instructions with that one. So, but that's good. Subpages. Jill, subpages. How can you sort and remove the subpages? So let's have a quick look at that. I'll jump over to my page here. I'm just going to quickly log in. Let's see how we go.
We've had lots of practice playing with this feature, haven't we?
Yeah,
it's good.
Lots of things. So I've got, I'm logged in. I've got my system here, and I've got all my subpages actually hidden away in another branch. So I'm just going to go into that Sydney branch where all my subpages live, and you can see there. So I've got a couple of subpages here, consumer law, court and practice, things like that. So let's just have a quick look what the question was. Sorting and removing the subpages. So I'll do the removing one because that's the easy one first. to remove a subpage, it has to be empty. So you either have to go through and delete all these boxes or move them somewhere else. And then once you do that, you can actually go through and you'll get a delete subpage option down here, which is hidden. So so that's that. In terms of sorting them, actually, good question. I'll have to double check on that, but I think they're sorted in the order they were added by default. So there may not be a sort, but that might be a good one for a feature enhancement for us later down the track. So really good questions there. Let's have a look what else we've got. Question from Sharon: has the Liberty link been updated yet? Almost. We've got our first sort of group went through, and we're rolling it out over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, so that's happening very soon. Sharon, I'll make a note and we can make sure you're on the list if you're keen for some of the features. But yeah, that's actually in 54. We snuck some of the 54 features in because it was quite a small release just for the mobile app. So we'll get that out very soon. Ailsa, can you show again how to use the app for Z3950? Yeah, it's basically it'll have a Z cataloging option down the bottom. So I haven't got it live. We don't have the option. We've lost our little sharer we used to share for the app. Yeah. But if you haven't got the Z39 the Z cataloging on your mobile app yet, that'll be coming in the next release very soon. So if you're keen, just drop the help desk an email and we'll let you know when, as soon as that's available. But it will be in the next week or so for most people. Next question, Louise, with the sub pages, can we have search boxes? If we want to filter the search for a particular user group. Not with the sub pages, but another way to do that, Louise, would be, I'm assuming you want to have a particular search filtered for a particular group of records. The actual search box up the top's really good for that. So we've got an example here of an image search, which will just be searching images, but you can actually do that yourselves by managing that. You can do add your own custom search up here, and this might do the trick for you. So if you wanted to have a custom search for, let's say, archive resources, archives, and save. If I refresh this screen, you can see I've got an archive search, which is a filtered search to what I made the selection. So that might be similar to what you're after. I know it's always up here, doesn't link necessarily to the sub pages, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more information on how to do that. It'd be worth playing around with. So let's see how we go there. What else have we got? Anonymous. How do we give access for different types of patrons to different branch screens? Yes, good questions. Are there separate URLs to direct them to the correct place? That sort of thing. Good, very good question. Yeah, if you've got different branches, you can set up, there's two sort of ways of doing it. If you've got the borrowers, so I'll just quickly jump over to borrowers through here. If you've got a borrower, Kitty, the borrower will be in a branch, and when this person logs in, automatically she will see the homepage for the branch that he or she is a part of. So that's how they see the branch that they come up with. If you have anonymous users, there's a little trick for that. It's a little bit quite a few steps, so we can get the support team to help with that. But basically you can set up, configure it so that each branch has its own URL, and then you can link to that by there, and then each branch will have its own sub pages if you want. So like I mentioned, I've got my sub pages set up for Sydney, and if I logged out and I'm not logged in as Sydney, I won't see them at all. So the sub pages will belong to that there. Hopefully that answers. I'm whizzing through some of these questions, sorry, a little bit fast, but hopefully that answers, and we can follow up with the help desk team if there's anything else there. Trevor, you're asking your favorite question. By chance, does the Liberty upgrade allow for NFC scanning? Not this time. It's still in the works. It's something that they have looked at, but it just hasn't made it yet. I'll follow up again for you, Trevor. I'll check up on that, because I know that's something you guys are super keen on. And Jill, another one. Thank you. Adding the scope notes to the lists. Very good question. So in your reading list, actually in all your authorities, if I go to cataloging and authority control, I'm going to open up my lists here. Let me see what I can do. I'll just browse my lists. I can have a look at any of my lists here. If I just edit a particular list, there is a scope note field here. So if you wanted to write something in that scope note, that will appear there. That should appear there. You shouldn't actually need to turn that on with page editing at all. That should be available as is. The catch was that was always there, but you couldn't really do anything with it. So now you've got there something like that, and I'll put in penguins, because then I can search for it in here. So when I go back to my OPAC, this is the bit that may need page editing to turn on. If I go to lists under other searches and lists, you can go here, and if I look at where have I got my aviation? Yeah, it's hidden under, maybe it's hot topics. There we go, hot topics, aviation, and there's my scope note there with penguins in it. So again, if I do the search that Susanna did up here for penguins, it should come up with aviation.
Nice.
Very random example, but you get the idea. So so that's how you do it. To turn it on, I'll just quickly show you that, because I don't think that will be on by default in most people's system. You can just go to system, pages, turn on, and if I go back, hopefully if I just refresh this screen, actually it might be, this is one of those, I changed the layout of this screen over here. You can see it's probably the topic list detail screen, and scope note can be turned on or off. So no other fields are customizable, because there's not much else. It'll show the lead term and scope note if you turn it on. and that will be there. So that's where that one is. Got it. Excellent. Thank you. Those are all the live questions. We whizzed through those quite quickly. So yeah, the subpages are a really cool feature. I think I've seen a lot of people with a lot of really good information on their homepage. So being able to categorize that will be fantastic. And I'm looking forward to seeing what some of you guys do out there, and how you configure it and set it up, and what sort of subpages and sub pages, if you go into that level of detail, I'll just show you really quickly when I log out here. See, this is my normal branch and normal user logged in here. I can, if I go in, you can see there's no sub pages here. So you may have just a generic branch like this, but if I'm logged in as a Sydney person, I can preview what that looks like here. Sydney's the one with the sub pages you can set up. This is here, like a sort of a legal type library here that I've got as an example. I can go through and see my sub pages. I've only got the first level out here, but you can see we've set up different things for each example there. So yeah, it's quite flexible, quite useful, I think, there. All right, any other questions or anything else on the chat? Jill, yes. Can a subpage be marked as hidden if all the information boxes within it are hidden? I actually haven't tried that. If they're, let me just have a quick look on the fly. You're saying if these are all hidden boxes, is the subpage hidden? That's a really good question. I suspect not, but certainly something we can look at. Let's have a quick look. It's gonna log me out, sorry. If I go to, let me go to Sydney. So if I go to one of these, how many has that got? 3. If I just make these, and to hide, where are we? Display disabled. Just quickly do this. I suspect not, but if it doesn't do that, it's probably a good idea for a feature.
And you're thinking it's still going to display because there's actually content on there.
Yeah, that's right. So by default, yeah, good question. At the moment, no, but that's certainly something to look at. Yeah, if all your boxes are hidden, it's still going to show you up as that menu, but it'll be nothing there. So yeah, that's a good suggestion for something we can look at. All right, does anyone have any last questions? One more, yep. Can you link to a sub-page elsewhere on the home page? Yes, I think there is. Let me just quickly have a look from memory. Oops, wrong. There's an option here, copy sub-page link. So if I copy that link, that's a permalink, and you'll notice them throughout the system. So if I actually opened another browser, in theory, I should be able to put that link that I just copied in here, and it should take me to, I think actually it should take me to that homepage there that I've just I've got the wrong branch for, but you get the idea. So there's that permalink. So using that homepage option here, copy subpage link, really useful. And what you could do is you could put that somewhere else on another subpage if you wanted to. So if I wanted to make a new homepage, I can go add information box. Let's just do something really basic text. Did you know? Here is some great info. Link to your subpage. You could probably make it better than that using the link there. Look here. I'm doing this very, very basic, but
It's
you get the
beautiful.
idea. Yeah. Where did that go? Down here? Did you know? Here is some great info. So you obviously can do it a lot better than that. And then that should take you a link through to that subpage there. So yeah, great question. You can highlighting particular subpages, especially if you're on your homepage here and you've got lots of subpages and subpages. You may, and people might be always asking you about a particular subpage. Yeah, you can highlight that by using that nice little option down here when I'm on a subpage, copy subpage link. Sorry, wrong mouse button. Copy subpage link, and that can be linked, on not just in Liberty, on another homepage, on your intranet, something like that, if you wanted to. Yeah. Hopefully that answers that question. That was a good one. All right, last call for questions. I think we're good.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for our live, this is our trial live webinar for new features. So thanks for coming along. Of course, don't forget to contact the support team if there's anything we can do for you. Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Oh, we've got one more. Thanks, Jill. Thanks, everybody. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Cool. Bye, guys. Thank you.